Okay, folks, I'm setting the camera up so that we can see and hear. Alright, this is probably the most important video. It's very important to me, and it will be to the public. This is exposing Willie Nelson and Camp, their involvement with the militia leader that was arrested down in New Mexico, 5-time felon, states his identity as Johnny Horton Jr., which he is not Johnny Horton's son. If you remember North to Alaska, the star, he's not. He's a 5-time felon, hasn't renewed his driver's license since 1979. And his name is Larry M. Hawkins, and he calls himself, which that's really not his name, but that truth will come out later. All right, and he calls himself Johnny Horton Jr. Okay, Willie Nelson Camp, to set me up, had Johnny Horton Jr. contact me to come to Farmington, to base out of Farmington, New Mexico, to do 7 concerts. Now, in the Children of the Legends and Stars, we operate differently. So no, I did not have him send me money ahead. I dealt with him and I went out, accepting his identity. But I am going to show you video file, internet discussions of Johnny Horton and myself and how he set me up. Now we all know Dad stands against the wall. Now why does Daddy stand against the wall? Daddy raises dope. Remember Daddy getting arrested coming in from Mexico with dope? Facts were never exposed what the truth was. It's my understanding that we have farms down there. They're not mine, they're his. What does the border do? It cuts off money. Now we're all familiar with the border. Oh my gosh, the child trafficking, the putting poor women into prostitution and human trafficking, and there's plenty of reasons for the wall. So how could an American citizen, and then again, illegal is illegal. We have a format to come to America. File the paperwork, go through the process, and if you're approved, you come in. We are not Mexico. We are not Venezuela. We are not Switzerland. We are not Great Britain. We are not Canada. We are America. And America has its right to be America. Okay. And all facts of becoming a citizenship refer to assimilation. So why would Willie Nelson, isn't he supposed to be taking up for the farmers? Well, I've exposed that he hasn't given a penny to any farm other than his own since 1997, that he hides in sheltered identities layered 3 and 5 deep for you to get to. Willie Nelson owns that farm. He doesn't care about you. He takes your money and does it tax-free. Why would that be surprising? Didn't he get caught in the 90s or 80s for tax evasion? Now, I posted the facts because Daddy called me behind the settlement, owed $1,800 on $18 million, and he owed taxes on it. He paid a settlement of $170,000. How do I know? He called me in Dallas, and he told me. And I thought it was a huge amount of money, and he laughed, and he said, no, that's only taxes, and it's not even taxes on $1 million. So I did good. So all your PR and marketing around that is all bullshit. All right? Now, why did I expose Farm Aid? Well, it's after all these years of, there's 4 children. Lucas Autry Nelson is Johnny Paycheck's son. Micah Jacob Nelson is Michael Mickey Raphael's son, Daddy's harmonica player. Paula Nelson is Daddy's 3rd cousin's daughter. The reason I've never identified who Amy's daddy is, he's quite a famous country star, but it's my understanding he was a minor when Amy was conceived. Oh, the beautiful, peaceful, loving Willie Nelson family. But. Well, toss the bullshit away and look at the facts. If it comes from my mouth, it's a fact. So my brother Billy passed in 91, and that was due to drug ingestion. Since he was a small child that he was unstable and he took his life. He tried attempts since he was 14. I hold my dad accountable. You say, oh, why this hate for Willie Nelson? One thing, he's my dad. Never hated him. But the reality, just because he's Willie fucking Nelson, doesn't make me any less his son and have the right to my life. So when I have step family that have Nelson names, saying they're Nelson DNA and imitating mine and Dad's voice, Daddy's life is his choice. My life is mine. I don't put up with it. So, back to Larry Hopkins, alias Johnny Horton Jr. The Nelson camp hired him to assassinate me. Read the articles where he's talking about he's delusional. Assassinating Hillary Rodham Clinton, Obama, Soros. I'll state the facts. Who Larry, Johnny Horton, Jr. wanted to kill me, walk out Johnny Horton's front door of his little shanty of a trailer house, go to the carport, walk down the lane to the left, last house on the corner is a blonde-haired dude. And that's who's supposed to have killed me while I was out there, and it's all set up by the Nelsons. All right, how many years do I have to keep exposing? All right, right now it's national news. You can Google Johnny Horton Jr., and you can Google Larry M. Hopkins militia, and you can read the facts. Now they're promoting it that, oh, he's militia, it's good for the America. Well, I believe in militias. I totally agree. But Hopkins is a scam artist. He touts he has hundreds of thousands of people following him. He has 12 people. 12 people in his troops. He has 40 people on his page that follow him or whatever. You don't have 100,000 to have 40 followers. Now then, on that, my sites are hacked, his aren't. My sites are hacked, they're hacked by the Nelsons. My counts are always wrong. Alright, that will all wind up in court. But this is a true FBI investigation. I will show you in my video where that Larry is talking to Paula, the daughters, and Doug, who rides on the bus with Daddy every day. And his initial conversation with me is a threat to me. Going to nail my ass to the wall. And I tell him to back your ears down. Then when that game didn't work, then they pulled the con that, oh, you really are. I know it, and here's my story, and his story was a lie. But you know what? I bought it. I play music. I'm from the West. I've been on the East Coast mostly for years playing music. I decided to go out West. Well, it was a setup. Well, I'll show you the pictures and I will inform you on Larry M. Hopkins. And I will verify to you that the Willie Nelson camp set me up. They tried to assassinate me. They tried to, well, they did destroy my truck. My truck wound up staying in New Mexico. I wound up flying out. There's many facts that I don't cover in this video. I just show you who Larry M. Hopkins is, and who Willie Nelson is, and who Annie D'Angelo Nelson, Lucas, Micah, Lana, Paula, Amy, Raylyn, Susan, they're all involved in this, but I don't show all that information because that's going to take place. And how they've said for years that Oh, the FBI is trailing him. One thing, you cannot get an FBI case but what you file a police report or a sheriff's report if you live in the county. And if they can't solve it, it goes to the FBI. Now, if it's terrorism, it'd go to FBI. Then whether it wound up with CIA or whoever. But none of that applies to me. I'm just Dad's son with a crooked family. My dad's worth $500 million is the truth. And they don't want me nearby. They want it all. 4 impersonators of the Nelson name, impersonating voice and who they are. They're not Dad's children. 2010, November, Daddy got a hold of me. Wanted me to come out public. First time in my life I ever did the public thing. Daddy's my dad. All my sites say Eddie Lee, son of Willie Nelson. That's because by April or May, Annie, Daddy's wife, Lucas's and Micah's mama, was telling me if I ever used Daddy's name publicly again, she would sue me and all these things because his name was copyrighted. That doesn't apply to children, that you can't. So I changed all my sites to Eddie Lee, son of Willie Nelson, in some format. So there's that cause, and there you have the facts. Can't do it. Could have been sued. There's never been a charge against me. They've got the National Enquirer article out. It's a total farce and defamation, and it's criminal. What they say about me and how they approach it, saying Dad says that ain't my boy. My dad's Willie Nelson. He's made plenty of interviews. If he was up and aware or felt this was any concern, Willie Nelson could make a statement. He never has. But the children who are not his children, and those controlled by Annie because she dictates the financial books, she runs Daddy's business. Daddy dopes and sings. She dictates what the children say. Oh well, back to Larry M. Hawkins. That's who, I will show you, Willie Nelson organization hired to defame, destroy me. One more thing, when criminals do things, a lot of times, there's many of them have this psychosis. They have to brag about it in some format. Daddy had the album years ago called The Half Nelson. Now there's been a joke with people that it just carries on, it moves around. That I didn't create it, I just repeat it, and that's where the name of my show in Farmington, where the setup took place. Anyways, if a girl's kind of pretty, well, that's a quarter Nelson. If she's pretty, well, that might be a half Nelson. If she's mega, well, that's a full Nelson. So, with that joke in mind and that joke carrying on out there in Farmington, after Johnny Horton Jr., Larry M. Hawkins stole the 800 tickets to my first show, and I did the second one, which then they had Lloyd Smith involved, to my complete knowledge. That's the one. But again, I didn't know Lloyd for what Lloyd was till later. Anyways, and I'm telling you this right now, Lloyd, because you watch my page. Fuck you. You ain't shit. Fuck you. So, this video is being made so feds can watch it, so law enforcement, and so media can make it. I'm the one who got the second investigation on Johnny Horton Jr. So go hide on the reservation. It ain't deep enough to hide your ass, Lloyd, because you carried on the rest of the program and the many hardships I encountered. It all goes to you. Okay, now then, I guess I'm upset with what I went through out there, but my show was called The Full Nelson. For the first time in Dad's life, he's doing a tour this year called The Full Nelson. I assume it has to do with Lucas and Micah going to be in the tour and presenting themselves as Nelsons. Lucas, you will have always been and will always be Johnny Paycheck's boy from Annie's affair. Micah, you have been and will always be Michael Mickey Raphael's son from Annie's affair. Willie Nelson, my dad, had his vasectomy in 1978 due to Connie's two girls not being his own, and he didn't want to raise any more children that way. Alright, love you folks. Watch the video. All the facts are in it. Shows me and my involvement and what took place in Farmington, New Mexico with Larry N. Hopkins, Johnny Horton Jr. of the New Mexico militia, the 5-time felon that the Willie Nelson camp hired to defame and destroy Willie Nelson's son, Eddie Lee Nelson. God bless my brother who's already gone to heaven, took his life in 91 due to being raised by my dad and eating drugs from the time as an infant because they left him laying around, and drugs promoted in his life, and he grew up unstable and he took his life. Daddy, I hold you accountable because you are. Alright, watch the video. The facts are there. Thank you.